Hello and welcome to Wisdom and Wealth, a channel dedicated to helping you navigate life's complexities with clarity and purpose, especially for those of you over 40 seeking deeper meaning and fulfillment. We understand the unique challenges and opportunities that come with age, and we're here to guide you towards a richer, more meaningful existence. Today, we're diving into 12 Buddhist principles that can help you rebuild yourself, alone, transforming your mind, renewing your spirit, and returning you to your authentic self. But before we begin, if you find value in the content we share, please consider liking and subscribing to our channel. Your support helps us reach more individuals like yourself who are seeking wisdom and wealth in all aspects of their lives. Imagine a life where you no longer crave the validation of others, where your inner peace isn't disrupted by external noise, and where your purpose isn't dictated by the opinions of those around you. Envision waking up each morning not to the clamor of chaos, but to the serene voice within, a voice you might have previously ignored amidst the world's relentless clamor. Now, picture yourself alone, yet not feeling lonely. You've deliberately released anything that no longer serves your higher purpose. Within that newfound silence, something profound awakens: clarity, strength, and truth. Buddhism teaches us that true transformation doesn't necessarily occur in the company of others but within the solitude where your soul can finally breathe freely. This is your path to healing, your journey to rebuild yourself from within, and it begins right now with these 12 powerful Buddhist principles. If this sounds interesting to you, consider liking and subscribing to our channel. These principles aren't a quick fix, but rather a roadmap for a deeper, more sustained inner transformation. They are designed to help you detach from the illusions that cause you pain, to connect with yourself on a profound level, to find meaning in adversity and to simplify your life. They will also help you to become a conscious observer rather than a reactor and to let go of the limiting self-perceptions. These teachings will help you discover the strength in solitude, cultivate mindfulness, and embrace acceptance as a path to change. We want you to have compassion for yourself and to break free from limiting thoughts and to always remember to return to the breath. 1. Detach from the illusion of control. A significant portion of our suffering arises from our attempts to control aspects of life that are inherently beyond our grasp. We desire specific behaviors from others, envision life unfolding according to our meticulously crafted plans, and expect situations to align perfectly with our imaginations. When reality deviates from these expectations, we experience frustration, anxiety, and a sense of defeat. However, the fundamental truth remains: you cannot dictate the thoughts, words, or actions of others. You cannot control external outcomes, the timing of events, or the unpredictable twists and turns of fate. Life, by its very nature, is unpredictable. People are imperfect, and circumstances are constantly shifting, often without any prior warning. Buddhism teaches us that pain is not necessarily caused by the events themselves, but by our attachment to how we believe they should unfold. As the Buddha wisely stated, you only lose what you cling to. The tighter we grasp our expectations, the more we suffer when they are not met. However, when we release that grip, something beautiful occurs. We begin to experience life as it truly is, unfiltered by our demands and preconceived notions. Release the urge to force outcomes, to fix everyone around you, or to demand perfection in all things. By ceasing to resist reality, we also cease to suffer. This surrender doesn't weaken you; instead, it empowers you with wisdom. Rather than expending energy on what lies beyond your control, you begin to master the one aspect you can always influence: your response. Your power lies not in controlling life, but in navigating it with grace and resilience. 2. Sit with yourself, not your distractions. In today's world, escaping from ourselves has never been easier. Every time we experience discomfort, boredom, or sadness, there is a screen to scroll through, a song to play, a video to watch, or a conversation to escape into. While these diversions may seem harmless in the moment, they can create a dangerous habit over time. We begin to avoid our own presence, fear silence, and resist stillness. Slowly, without realizing it, we become strangers to our own minds. Buddhism teaches that true healing and transformation can only begin when we stop distracting ourselves and start facing ourselves. Why is sitting with oneself so important? Because beneath the noise lies truth, and underneath discomfort lies clarity. The emotions we've buried, those quiet whispers of sadness, guilt, or longing, aren't trying to destroy us, they're trying to guide us. When we learn to sit alone, without reaching for our phones, calling someone, or numbing our thoughts with noise, we begin to hear what our soul has been trying to say all along. We realize that we are not empty, merely unattended to. We are not broken, simply unheard. So, approach sitting with yourself not as a punishment, but as a return to your true essence. Allow the silence to feel awkward at first. Let the emotions rise and observe them like passing clouds. Refrain from judgment, simply listen. 3. Embrace the pain that rebuilds you. Most people naturally run from pain, viewing it as something inherently negative, something to avoid or fix as quickly as possible. However, in Buddhism, pain isn't viewed as the enemy. Instead, it is seen as a messenger, a mirror, and the crack through which light enters the soul. Growth never feels like comfort, it often feels like loss, confusion, and the sensation of everything falling apart. Just as a seed must break open before it can grow into a tree, parts of ourselves must break down so that we can rise into something greater. Pain isn't meant to punish us, it's meant to reshape us. When we sit with our suffering instead of numbing it or escaping from it, we begin to understand its wisdom. A heartbreak can reveal what we truly value. A failure can teach us a resilience we never knew we possessed. Silence can bring us face to face with the parts of ourselves that need healing. We can't rebuild ourselves if we're always hiding from what hurts. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this trying to teach me?" This shift in mindset turns pain into power. The most peaceful people you'll ever meet are not those who have never suffered, but those who have looked their pain in the eye, accepted it with grace, and allowed it to transform them. 4. Simplify your life, amplify your spirit. In a world that constantly bombards us with messages to want more, do more, and become more, simplicity often feels like a weakness. However, in Buddhism, simplicity isn't a step backward, it's a return to clarity, a return to peace. Think about the countless things you carry, physically, mentally, and emotionally, that you don't truly need. How much energy is drained by managing things that add no value to your spirit? The clutter in your home, the overcommitments in your schedule, the noise in your digital life, and the presence of toxic individuals in your circle all weigh you down, quietly and constantly. Buddha taught that desire is the root of suffering, not just material desire, but also the craving for recognition, possessions, and distractions. The path to transformation isn't found in addition, but in subtraction. Begin by asking, what is truly essential to my peace? Simplify your surroundings by letting go of what you don't use. Simplify your relationships by choosing depth over quantity. Simplify your mind by releasing thoughts that don't serve your highest self. When you begin to live with less, you actually feel more space to breathe, more time to reflect, and more energy to grow. Simplicity doesn't mean giving up joy, it means stopping the chase for things that don't bring real joy in the first place. It creates a sacred space within you where your spirit can rise uninterrupted by noise or pressure. 5. Become the observer, not the reactor. One of the greatest teachings in Buddhism is this: you are not your thoughts, and you are not your emotions. You are the one who watches them. However, most people forget this fundamental truth. Something triggers them, a rude comment, a moment of fear, a painful memory, and they react without thinking. Anger takes over, anxiety floods the mind, sadness pulls them down, and before they know it, they're doing or saying things that only create more suffering. Buddhism teaches a different path, a path of awareness, a path of stillness. Instead of being pulled by your emotions, learn to observe them like clouds drifting across the sky. Emotions come and go, you don't have to chase them, and you don't have to become them. You simply watch, breathe, and stay still. This isn't easy at first. The mind wants to react, the ego wants to fight, and the pain wants to scream. However, when you pause, you give yourself power. You shift from automatic reaction to conscious response. In that space between the trigger and your action, you find freedom. Anger isn't the enemy, fear isn't the enemy, and even sadness isn't the enemy. The real danger lies in losing yourself inside of them. Practice becoming the watcher of your mind. 6. Let go of the self that no longer serves you. We all carry a version of ourselves that was shaped by pain, fear, rejection, or past experiences. Perhaps it's the not good enough version, the always fails version, or the one that was criticized, betrayed, abandoned, or told they were too much or not enough. Over time, without realizing it, you begin to identify with that self, believing that's who you truly are. You might say things like, "I'm just an anxious person," or "I always mess things up. This is just the way I am." However, Buddhism teaches something powerful: there is no fixed self. The self you believe you are is not permanent, it can change, evolve, and be rebuilt. In order to become someone new, you must be willing to release the version of you that no longer serves your highest good. Let go of the self that doubts, the self that shrinks to fit in, and the self that keeps reliving the same story of pain. You don't need to hate that version of you. It was doing its best with what it knew, and it helped you survive. But now you are ready to grow, and growth means releasing the identity that was built on wounds so you can step into one built on wisdom. 7. Learn the power of walking alone. There will be moments in life when you feel abandoned, misunderstood, or completely alone. Friends fade, relationships fall apart, support disappears, and you are left wondering why no one is there. But what if that loneliness is actually sacred? In Buddhism, solitude is not something to fear, it's something to honor. When you walk alone, without the noise, influence, or pressure to be someone for others, you begin to meet the most important person in your life, yourself. We live in a world that constantly tells us to stay connected, but connection without self-awareness leads to confusion. You begin to live for others, say yes when you mean no, and shape yourself to fit their expectations. In solitude, that illusion falls away. You begin to hear your own thoughts again, question what you actually want, not what others expect, and remember your values, dreams, pain, and power. Walking alone doesn't mean being lonely, it means becoming strong enough to stand without needing anyone else to hold you up. When you can walk your path without applause, be at peace without constant company, and enjoy your own presence like a best friend, that's when you know you are becoming whole. 8. Choose mindfulness over multitasking. In the modern world, multitasking is praised like a superpower. The more you can juggle, the more valuable you seem. However, no one tells you that the more tasks you split your attention across, the less of yourself you bring to each one. You eat while scrolling your phone, listen while thinking about your reply, and walk while your mind races in 1,000 directions. But are you really living, or just moving through life on autopilot? Buddhism teaches the opposite of multitasking. It teaches mindfulness, the practice of being fully present with whatever you are doing, no matter how simple it seems. When you eat, just eat. When you listen, just listen. When you walk, feel each step beneath your feet like it matters. When your mind is scattered, your life becomes scattered. When your attention is divided, your energy is drained. When you rush through every moment, you miss the beauty, wisdom, and healing it quietly offers you. Mindfulness brings you back to now, the only moment that actually exists. It calms the nervous system, clears mental fog, deepens your connection to the world and to yourself, and most importantly, awakens your presence. Stop chasing more, stop rushing through everything just to get to the next thing. Slow down, come back to this moment, because when you stop multitasking and start living mindfully, you don't just get things done, you come back to life itself. 9. Accept what is and change what you can. One of the deepest sources of suffering in life is the fight against reality. We wish things were different, replay mistakes, regret decisions, hold on to anger, and obsess over things that are simply out of our control. But here's the truth: you cannot heal by resisting what is. Buddhism teaches a profound balance: acceptance and action. Accept what is, change what can be, and have the wisdom to know the difference. Acceptance does not mean giving up, it does not mean becoming passive. It means making peace with the present moment before you decide what to do next. When you are at war with what's already happened, you drain your energy. But when you accept it, you free up space to respond wisely. You don't have to accept injustice, and you don't have to tolerate toxic behavior, but you do have to stop wishing the past could be different, and you do have to stop trying to control every outcome. Instead, ask yourself, can I change this? If yes, take action with clarity and compassion. If no, breathe, let go, and trust the unfolding of life. True, conscious action comes from a still place, not a frantic one. When you accept what is, you can finally see clearly what steps to take. 10. Choose compassion, even for yourself. It's easy to feel compassion for others. When someone else is in pain, we offer kindness, patience, and gentle words. But when we fall short, we become our own harshest critics. We replay our mistakes, insult ourselves in silence, and carry guilt for days, weeks, even years. We hold ourselves to impossible standards and punish ourselves when we fail to meet them. But here's the truth: you cannot truly grow if you are constantly attacking yourself. Buddhism teaches that compassion must begin at home, and that home is your own heart. Self-compassion doesn't mean making excuses, it means recognizing that you are human, that you are allowed to struggle, that healing is not a straight line, and that mistakes are part of the journey. When you mess up, speak to yourself as you would to a dear friend: it's okay, you are learning, you are trying, you are still worthy. The voice you speak to yourself with becomes the environment your soul lives in. If that voice is harsh, your spirit hides. If that voice is kind, your spirit blooms. You need to offer yourself that same grace even in your darkest moments. You are not broken, you are becoming. Even in your messiness, you are not a failure, you are a work in progress. The path to healing is not paved with self-judgment, it's built with compassion, step by step, breath by breath. 11. Break the cycle by breaking the thought. Every day, thousands of thoughts pass through your mind. Some are harmless, some are helpful, but many, without you even realizing it, are harmful. Thoughts like, I'm not enough, no one understands me, I always fail, what's the point in trying? The more often these thoughts appear, the more power they gain. You don't just think them, you start to believe them, and once belief takes root, it begins to shape your choices, your actions, your energy, and ultimately, your life. Buddhism teaches that our reality is created by our thoughts. The Buddha once said, "We are what we think." All that we are arises with our thoughts. With our thoughts, we make the world. This means that the life you are living right now is a reflection of the thoughts you have consistently believed. If your thoughts are fearful, you move through life cautiously, always expecting the worst. If your thoughts are filled with anger, you carry that weight into every conversation. If your thoughts are rooted in lack, you never feel like what you have or who you are is enough. But here's the good news: thoughts are not permanent, they are habits, patterns, and are like grooves in the mind carved by repetition. What has been programmed can be reprogrammed. The key is awareness. You must begin to watch your thoughts, not blindly follow them. When a painful or limiting thought arises, pause. 12. Return to the breath. In every moment of chaos, confusion, fear, or uncertainty, there is one thing that is always with you, always available, and always powerful enough to bring you back to peace: your breath. It sounds simple, too simple, maybe, but in Buddhism, the breath is far more than just air moving in and out of your lungs. It is your anchor to the present moment, the doorway to awareness, and the bridge between your body, mind, and spirit. When life becomes overwhelming, your mind tends to run in every direction. It pulls you into the past, replaying what went wrong. It jumps into the future, imagining worst-case scenarios. It creates fear, tension, and panic. You are lost in thoughts that don't serve you, but your breath is always in the now. It cannot exist in yesterday or tomorrow. The present moment is all we truly have, so when you focus on your breath, you bring yourself back to peace, to the present, and to life itself. When you pay attention to your breath, something shifts, your nervous system calms down, your thoughts slow, and you stop being overwhelmed by life's chaos. Breath is believed to carry life force. When breath is shallow and fast, your energy becomes scattered and weak, but when your breath is deep and intentional, your energy becomes steady and strong. And science backs it up too. Research shows that mindful breathing lowers cortisol, the stress hormone, improves heart rate variability, strengthens the immune system, and boosts mental clarity. Let your breath become your prayer, let it carry your pain. These 12 principles aren't just concepts, they're invitations to let go of control, to sit with yourself, to listen to the wisdom in your pain, to clear the clutter of your life, to respond thoughtfully, not react impulsively, to let go of your old self, to walk with strength, and to live with intention, to accept what you can't change, to offer yourself deep compassion, to break free from limiting thoughts, and always to return to your breath, the grounding force that connects you to your true self. If this video resonated with you, be sure to like and subscribe. You are not broken, you are in the process of becoming. You are not falling behind, you are awakening. So trust the journey, even when it's quiet, lonely, or tough. The most powerful version of you is not in the crowd, it's found in the quiet moments when no one's watching, when you choose to rise, rebuild, and return to who you truly are. Walk this path with courage, and may peace follow you with every step. Thank you for joining us on Wisdom and Wealth. Your support helps us create more content to guide you on your journey of self-discovery and transformation. For more insights and practical tips, be sure to like and subscribe to our channel.